What's going on, everybody? My name is Tamar Turner, and I'm the host of the Down to Business podcast, where the mission is to really provide exposure to businesses, entrepreneurs, and artists all around the world in their respective crafts. And we do so through audio and visual interviews where we come on and we talk about all things from getting into the business to most memorable moments to even some advice that you may give for other business owners and entrepreneurs out there. So if this sounds like something that you would be interested in, we'd love to have you on for an interview. Please be sure to reach out via any social media platform and we'll definitely get back to you. But until then, enjoy this episode. All right, everybody. So I told y'all that I had a lot planned for y'all this weekend, and so we gonna get right into it. I'm sitting down with my boy right now, Meso. Another interview. I actually met him through a completely different avenue, but then and just kind of being on his Instagram and being on his page and really seeing what he does, I was really intrigued. And then once I kind of told him kind of some of the ideas that I had for the podcast and what I was trying to do, and as soon as I kind of just gave that to him, he said, "Look, we got to coordinate. We got to get this segment going." So, I had to look out for the bros. I love the cues. So, had to bring my dog Maso Moon on. And so, Maso, how you doing today, bro?
What's going on, man? What's going on, Doc?
Not much, man. Just vibing, like you said, just quarantine, just chilling. So, for the people out there, for the listeners out there, can you just give us a little bit of background about yourself and a little bit about what you do?
For sure, man. First thing first, give glory to God. Act like I'm about to give a speech, but
And for sure.
yeah, I'm Maso Moon, from Decatur, Georgia, 27 years old, and I am an artist. Well, let's say this: I'm a creative. I am the CEO of Artist Plug Creative Group. I started about 3 years ago after I was fired from my job. I graduated with a degree in construction management, and I was working in that field, and I got let go. And for months I wasn't doing anything. Like I was just chilling at the crib, and I always had the talent, to draw. I kind of just let it go to the wayside until one day a girl asked me, "Could I paint something?" I'm like, "Shit, I'm at the house." You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything anyway. I started painting again, and I kind of fell in love with it. I'm like, "Wait, this is what I need to do. This is my calling." But a lot of people don't know, like when I first started college, that was my first major, visual arts. And the reason I stopped was my professor for drawing. It was a class, it was drawing 101. And she literally told me, walked up to my desk, and she was like, "What you want to do?" I was like, "I want to be an artist." She was like, "Well, you're not going to make no money in this field unless you're a teacher." And I gave up. And that's how I ended up being a construction manager, management. And then fast forward back to once I started, painting again, and then it kind of just clicked to me like, yeah, I can make a lot of money off of this. And from there, I started doing paint parties, portraits, murals, anything creative. I'm tapped into it. And in Atlanta, it's kind of like down south Mecca, so
The hub.
yeah, it's the hub. So, call it Black Hollywood. So art in itself down here is so vibrant, man. I'm in a great place. So I started to thrive fast. I know a lot of people, the bros, So from there, man, everything just started growing. And here we are now on Down to Business.
Got you. So it really took you being away from it, being even a little bit discouraged, being told by others that, oh, your dream is not going to work out for you. But then really even leaving that construction management, just seeing how expendable you could be in any field, really, per se. And especially when you're working for somebody else, not doing your own thing. And then you kind of just took that and branched off into this. I like that. So now with APCG, Artist Plug Creative Group, the LLC,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, let me put some respect on it.
You
But
know?
what all do you like? What all do you offer? What all have you done? What have your services consisted of thus far?
Okay, so services wise, like I said, I started off, I would say like my first big gig that kind of kickstarted my business was, sipping paints. You know, everybody's pretty much been to a sipping paint. And what I've done, and I've mastered the market down here, I do it mobily, meaning I come to you, I have my own canvases, I supply everything. All you need to do is give me the space. Even if you don't have a space, I can do that. So that's one of the services I do. of course, paintings, just whether you want a portrait or just something for your living room, I do that. Multidisciplinary art, I do use different mediums, whether it's wood, printmaking, acrylic, watercolor, pastels, chalk, charcoal. We can go on and on. 3D, I do it all. But recently, what service I've added to my package is I just graduated from graphic design school, and now I do logos, branding, animation. As far as that, that's basically all I offer. So anything creative, and I do creative consulting. So if you want to talk about how what I need to do to get this business started, or what I need to do, like what's wrong with my logo now, you know what I mean? Just helping people out anyway creatively. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, got you. And so I really want to circle back a little bit to the very first thing you said, just because, contrary to popular belief, I have actually not been to a sip and paint. I have seen many, I've been invited to some,
Yeah.
but just haven't been able to make it. So I have a couple of questions just because I kind of want to clear the air. I'm a little confused from the outside looking in. So I know that you said personally, you provide your own canvases and different things like that. Now, when it comes to sip and paints, I'm not trying to hate on any of my followers out there, any of my listeners out there, but so I'm just going to be transparent. Me personally, I can't draw. I'm not a creative. When I used to be in art class and the teacher used to kind of tell us, "Hey, draw this or draw something that comes to your mind." I was drawing abstract art, meaning I was drawing lines,
Yes.
connecting them, and then I was shading them, and they were looking like stained glass windows at churches with no pictures. So how do sip and paints work now? Because I know all of my followers out there cannot paint, cannot draw, but sometimes some of these canvases that they are posting are looking marvelous. So is this something that is the canvas already done? Do you just add the color? Like how do maybe it's different with different sip and paints, but personally, how do you
So
work your sip and paints?
it really depends on the situation. Because like I tell people, this is an opportunity for you to be creative and free yourself mentally. So I try not to make it too hard on people. And so I give you the choice. Either you can get it where it's like a coloring inside the lines type ordeal, or you want to take the challenging route. And for the most part, I'll just teach you step by step. And people like the challenging part of, well, let's go step by step. I don't want to draw nothing. I want to be just like you. You're the painter. You're telling me if I listen to you, I can do this. And that's how it goes. I know what I'm talking about. I'm really, skilled in the area. So, and I make it fun. And I just literally walk through step by step with each person there, and tell them how to paint the picture. Uh, and then you have alcohol involved, of course. So
Okay, hence the sit part. Yeah, got you. Okay, so all right, so you guys try to make it as easy as possible because I honestly, since I'm being so honest today, let me just clear the air a little bit more. So the first couple of reasons, well, the first reason why I didn't attend the one of the sip and paints that I was invited to is because I was scared that I was gonna basically get there,
hmm
me not knowing how to draw, and
yeah,
I was just gonna be sitting there stuck. Like I was gonna feel like I wasted my money, I wasted some time. But okay, I didn't know that because I was seeing basically the misconception I guess that I had was just that everybody in there, I didn't know if it was the wine or whatever they were sipping, but people were just bringing out their inner creative spirit that I felt like I didn't really have. So
yeah.
for me, just seeing, I was just like, man, I can't go here. My canvas gonna be looking crazy, raggedy. They not gonna want to. Yeah. So okay, but now I get that. So all right. So everybody out there listening, whether you're listening, you've invited me or you've been to one, I'm coming to the next one. I'll be there.
Yeah,
I already know the secret now, so I'll be there.
as we get off this lockdown, I'm gonna do a big one, man, for the city, man. I got
Okay.
just cause people need
Okay. Why not? Because
stretch.
I saw the one that you did at. Was that a what was it? Was it a middle school? Was it a high school? Where was that at? You had like a big space though.
Yeah, every year, man, I do what can't be called sipping paint for the kids, but basically, I do a paint party for my old high school. So the high school seniors, they come together, and every year I put up a paint party for them. Basically, just give the kids something they never did before. They're extremely fun. We play music, have a host, same crew every single year. I've been doing it for like 4 years now, and I've done other high schools as well, just not my school. And yeah,
Okay, got you. Definitely nothing like giving back, nothing like allowing people to explore their creative talent. But and so with that, a lot of times me personally, I preach that especially coming from Philadelphia and really just seeing how everything goes. I mean, you come from Atlanta, so you're no stranger to the city and just the different things that go on, especially in our community. So a lot of times I just try to get people to understand that music and sports isn't always the only route. No, I'm not saying that you have to go and just complete all this school and go get your master's like I did, even go get a PhD, which I have hopes of doing. But just recognize that there can be other opportunities that derive from this. That school can really take you a long way. That it can put you in different paths and open up avenues, and you can explore different things that you may not have even known existed otherwise. So, how important do you feel it is for people to explore that creative side, to recognize art, to recognize graphic design, to do all of that as another avenue, as another way, because we need those type of people out there. So how do you stress that, and how do you basically resonate with other people who may not necessarily have explored that side before?
This is crazy you asked this question because I literally just talked about this with my sister yesterday, and I have dreams of getting back into teaching. As you, I don't know if everybody knows, but they're trying to take art out of the schools. The key thing is art is basically a language. You know what I mean? It's just as important as language arts and math, simply because people don't understand the dynamic that everything has an art to it. All right. Me going through graphic design school, I learned that words, like the actual like letters, like the shape of it, like just the down, just all the way down to the detail of like how everything is made is an art. And it kind of goes back to that art is creation. Like, if God created humans and people say we're beautiful, that is an art. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he made a portrait of you, like you're an actual person, you're beautiful, that is an art. And if we start to not pay attention to the people who have those creative sides, like we lose hindsight of like storytelling. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't have a way to paint our past, or even show inner feelings, or man, it's deep. Like I'm
Nah, for sure. I'm over here like, wow, he put me on some game myself. Yeah.
trying to keep it as simple as possible, but it is really that intricate situation. Like art itself is our way to tell our souls, what I mean, tell how we feel, tell what we've been through, and not just in the sense of a picture. The logo on your shirt for wherever it is, it has a backstory, and people don't need, they just recognize it as a company. But you know what I'm saying, like that Ralph Lauren, I'm pretty sure that horse meant something to him or had something to do with his childhood. He grew up on a ranch. You know what I mean? That is all, that is art. And just think about Ralph Lauren on a scale of worldwide is one of the biggest brands ever.
Nah,
And,
for sure.
if we just break it down into a simple as how is this art? That's not a simple question.
Right, right. We could be talking for a couple of episodes about that, especially with Ralph Lauren used to. Man, if I remember when I was in like middle school, even going into high school, polo was like the thing. Like if you had two buttons on your shirt and it didn't have a horse on it, people was looking at you like you were crazy or like you didn't. But just to see the transition of it from the rugby to the polo black to the polo sport, that's all just different stories, different now backgrounds for sure. When you think about it like that, absolutely.
So yeah, man, so I think everybody should be in touch with their artistic side, because it gives them a chance, another way to speak. You know what I mean? It's another approach to speak your mind. And I feel like once you don't even, like, you cut that off, you become very simplistic. Like all you know is words. Like even myself as an artist, I want to learn how to write, like creative writing. I you know what I'm saying? I think those, even itself, like music, all those avenues tie into what I want to do as a creative, because it pushes me to expand my mind. You know what I mean? That's what art opens you up to think. And I feel
For
like
sure.
if we don't tap into that, we lose that, and we become, basically like just sitting potatoes, man. And we want to be we want to be the full course meal, brother.
Oh, absolutely. What a dessert. So with you personally, like a creative process. I know that everybody's creative process is a little differently. I know me, I'm just thinking about me and like you said, writing. And that's really just what I love to do: writing, speaking, broadcasting, different things, different avenues, different channels. So what does Meso's creative process look like? Like, do you just kind of, does it really just depend on the environment, the situation? Do you just wake up and say, oh, hey, I want to draw this today, or I saw that yesterday? Or are you kind of just out and about? Do you have things planned out? How does that work for you?
I'm gonna tell you like this: it's day to day. I try to set a schedule, but my mind like it it just runs. It just runs amok, and it never like I can't. If I say, "Hey, today I'm going to paint," most likely I'm not going to paint. Because it's like I'm forcing myself to be creative. It's like it's one of those things you just have to feel. Most of
For
the
sure.
I want to create all the time. Don't get me wrong, but it's like if I get to the canvas and what I had in mind is not what I want
Hmm.
at that moment, I won't draw it. Or you know I might start drawing scribbles and I'm supposed to be drawing a face.
Right.
That'll take me down a whole nother loophole. So it's like I kind of just let my mind freely move around,
Hmm.
simply because that way my ideas are always developing. And once I come to a clear, concise idea, I stick to it, and I get the foundation, and then I look at it, let it sit, and I'm like, oh, what can I add to that? And from there, I just start to build on top of it. I'm not one of those like neat artists. I'm very loose with my creativity. I like humor. You know what I'm saying? I like ancient art. So I like to add different aspects, kind of that tell the same story, if that makes sense.
For sure.
You
Most
know?
definitely. And
And
I think, yes. Nah, go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead. I was just gonna say it brings it together once you be like, oh wait, I see how he brought ancient Rome over here to. Wow, how did he get that to match Big Boy or Outcast? Like, how did
Hmm.
those two come together? You know what I mean? I just like
Absolutely.
two different juxtapositions and bring them together just to make a beautiful piece. So my creative process, I can't give you a straight answer. I really can't because it's different.
Absolutely. And I think that's really what makes it so unique, so personal, just because everybody is different. And even like you said, where sometimes, yeah, the thoughts flow for you, but other times it almost sounds like, to me, what I can kind of describe it as, it sounds like writer's block.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
sometimes I'll have an assignment, do literally an assignment with a subject, with the outline, guidelines, what to write about and everything. And I'll just get in front of the keyboard, and I started writing something else,
Yeah,
or I started writing just things that are coming to my mind, just because I can't, if it's literally not going to come out the way that I want it, or if it's not going to start the way that I want it to, I just can't, like you said, force myself
yeah.
to put,
I will
just to put words on a paper. Yeah, it's not going to come out the same way, for sure.
for sure. I will not put down some nonsense.
Do you have a particular artist or artist with an S, or era that you're inspired by, or that you resonate the most with? Like you said, you kind of take one juxtaposition and put it with another. Do you kind of have, um is there a specific like era? And I don't even know too much about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
eras other than what I learned in school, but is there something for you that really just like sticks out when it comes to your art, your personality specifically?
Um. Ooh, man, I have a number of people that I follow that I'm in love with as far as artists. I like all different styles. You know, let me think. I'm gonna start just naming people, and you'll probably know. Well, I don't know. You
Yeah,
probably
I might know a couple. Go back to like my middle school, high school days.
yeah. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, well, for the most part, I like ancient Rome art. You know what I mean? Like a lot of Greek mythology. I'm attracted to that a lot,
Okay.
but I don't paint that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. You know, I don't paint that. Like I like Banksy. I don't know if you heard of Banksy.
I have not.
I'm gonna just name off a few. I like
Yeah,
Banksy.
just drop them for me. You gonna put me on game either way.
Some of these are old, but a lot of these are new people like Banksy, Ledger, Picasso, of course, Cubism. I don't ever if you ever heard of Ray Gun magazine. I have a homeboy. His name is Camo. He's fire. Vaccine. He's a cool artist. David Carson. Paper Frank. Walker. Whew. man, Greg Mike. I don't know if you ever heard of what's my boy name from Chicago? Christopher. Oh, hold on. I just posted him today. I'm
Uh-oh.
getting the blank. Hold on, what's his name? I want you to. I'll send you a list so you can have these too, just so you can
Oh,
check.
not for sure.
But yeah, his name is boom, got it, just like that. Christopher Roberts. Woo!
Okay.
He does all those Nike box sculptures you've probably seen, like All Star. Um,
Okay. Oh, for real.
yeah,
Because I saw some dope ones out there, especially at the event, the BET Martell event that I went to. They were. I've always thought that they were really cool, but seeing it like in person, oh, it was dope. It was dope.
man, yeah, man. It's a lot of artists I like, but for the most part, if we was to put a topic on it, I'll say ancient Roman art, like Greek mythology.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what would you? Is it is it something specific about Greek mythology that like stands out to you?
And when I was in school, back when I said I was my major was visual arts,
Mhm.
I had took art history. Man, I don't know, something about sculptures and just the attention to detail, man, on the paintings. Like, I don't know if you've seen all those old paintings. It's just so much detail, and they're perfect. And I could never wrap myself around to even sit there and paint for that long. But I just come infatuated with it because it actually looks like a picture. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's just so dope how people could create with little. You know what I mean? Versus what
Absolutely.
now, and it's like it really hones into the uniqueness of a skill. Like, these people were sculpting real people, like the muscles was everything, like, the face
Hmm.
right out of rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The
I'm,
attention to detail is crazy. Yeah.
like, I'm just so attracted to it. It's just something about my eye that catches me. It just catches me every time. So yeah.
Okay. I like that. So now, when it comes to the various just art forms there are, whether you just have the painting, the drawing,
Mhm.
the coloring, the sculpting, what would you say is your most favorite, and what would you say is your least favorite? And kind of just give me an explanation as to why.
Let's see. I like contemporary modern art. That's because it's simple, it's clean, it's sleek, it's quick. You get it. It's kind of soothing. What I don't like, I do not like realism.
And
Because
that was one of the actually one of the errors I remember. I know you said cubism earlier. Cubism and realism, modernism, impressionism. I remember.
I
Yeah,
don't,
they starting to come back to me now.
I do not
So
like.
why not realism?
It's because, like, remember earlier I said I like to loosely like create. I
Hmm.
I I like to see it. Like, I'm amped up when I see that somebody can, draw with a pencil and it almost looks like a real picture. But
Hmm.
as a creative, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
Okay, I got you.
I can do it. I can do it because I've that's how I learned how to draw. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to do those things. But just going through and learning myself as an artist, I'm not going to sit here and try to sketch you verbatim.
Okay. I got you. And I think that's a lot of times why I ended up like I said, going to my abstract art avenue, just because we all remember opening those how to draw books, and you start with the circle and then you draw the line and then you erase a little bit here. I couldn't do all of that. That was just
So,
it
like
was too complex for me. It was too many steps. I felt like it was just too long. I just want to draw and then shade it in.
when I was in school, man, my teacher said something that I felt like it stuck with my personality as an artist. He said, "Your job as an artist isn't to give somebody the whole picture." And he was like, if you give somebody the whole picture, then what are they going to look at? They're going to look at it and they're going to be bored. He said you got to give some people where they have to think and come up with their own perspective. So, like, if you was to look at my art, you're going to be like, what was he thinking? Oh, what is this story? And then I love the fact that people come up with different, perspectives, because at sometimes I'll be like, hey, I didn't even think of that. You know what I mean? That didn't even come to my mind, because
Hmm.
it's subjective. And I feel like once you get into the whole thing of, well, I'm just gonna draw a face or draw the building how it looks, it's like, it is what it is.
Right. And I think too that's what just makes art so beautiful. So unique, so vibrant. Just I'm one that's very much about perspective. That's actually why I do this podcast, just because it's one thing from what we see, whether it be social media, whether it be face to face, but it's another thing to actually hear what goes on through a person's mind, what goes on through their daily. And that's what I like about art, how sometimes no two people can see the same picture. I'm sure we've always saw those sculptures or those pictures about, well, what do you see here? And then if you turn it ever so slightly or tilt your head or squint your eye, it looks like something totally different. And I think those are just so cool. But I think that speaks to art itself, how an artist can draw something or it be this in their mind, but
Mhm.
then maybe just the audience say, hey, well, did you see that? Or did you even realize that you made this in the process? And you're just like you said, oh, I didn't even see that. But the fact that you got that out of that, wow, that's different. That's cool. And I think that it teaches you things about yourself too that you didn't even realize. So now just kind of wanting to go into the art world or just the creative world just a little bit. So now when it comes to, I guess, you and the relationship that you have with other artists and just people that do different things, whether it be I've seen you post some people who design sneakers, revamp, do different things like that, do the self portraits, do nude art, whatever it is. With the art community specifically, is it something where artists and creatives are just trying to differentiate themselves, trying to make their mark, or is it something where everybody is really supporting everybody? Is it just kind of like a motivational thing where people are trying to work with each other or give different ideas, or is it where just everybody just kind of wants to be different? So like, hey, when I look at this, I'll know that's Meso. When I look at this, I know that's Chris. Or when I look at this, I know that's JB or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, man. It's weird. The art world is weird. We're some weird people. That's all I want to say. We're weird. Because on one hand, you have to deal with the mentality of an artist. We're very conservative. We're kind of the introverts. We don't like to be around people. We just like our space, and it kind of bleeds off into the business and the social life as an artist. I've done or dealt with people who I've admired from afar, and when I meet them, they're kind of like standoffish, or you know, they don't come off as you thought they would. You know what I'm saying? They're like kind of conceited, and just being in Atlanta is just like you have your select groups of artists hang out with artists work with artists collab with artists. It's hard because we already have the stigma of I'm a starving artist, which is true, and a lot of times people don't want to step on each other's toes simply because you know it's a hard business. You know what I mean? You create for yourself every day. It's literally like going out in the wild and have to kill every single day as an artist. So you don't get the help. Like a lot of times you might reach out to people, but some people don't reach back. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't want to give their skills or how they create. Like I've asked a lot of people, like, "Hey, how did you get this certain type of effect?" Won't respond because it's a you got to create. You got to find your avenue. How you create, you'll see a lot of people copy old styles of old artists, but the best way, in my opinion, is to find your own way. And a lot of times that takes years. Some of my favorite artists say they just found their niche. They've been finding it for 15 years, and now they're finally what it seems like to everybody. They're famous, making money, but it's like I've been doing painting for 15 years now. I'm just not getting noticed. So yeah, it's a dog eat dog world out here too. It's not all shabby. You just can't throw some on the sheet of paper think you finna make some money.
Absolutely.
You gotta earn your as an artist, so people know. So yeah, man, it's hard. Like I'm still finding my style. Like recently, I've like found out like my foundation, like what I want to do. But it's
Hmm.
it's you're always developing. You know,
Right.
like we say, your lamp never full.
Exactly. And there's always room for improvement just for some people whose heads that might have went over. For sure. But shout out to the bros. So with like you specifically, when if somebody was to tell you, or what do you say to the people who say, man, just trying to be a creative, I feel like it takes too much time to get noticed, or it takes too much trial and error, or I'm never gonna, I could just go easily just get a job and make money that way rather than trying to just draw these pieces, sell them, get commission, whatever the case may be, get people to notice me. What do you say to the people who feel like the time and the effort isn't really worth it?
I literally just posted this under. one of my favorite artists. He said, I'm a self-taught artist in a room with one of the oldest fashion designers in the world. I literally put under his page, I said, you keep doing you and they'll find you. Simple as that. If your work is good, they'll find you. People admire it. Somebody's always it.
Hmm.
Nobody's gonna always like your art. That's just
Right.
that's the truth of the matter. Somebody's gonna say that sucks or I can do it. Somebody's gonna say, hey, that's brilliant. Like I see I love that. Keep working, keep creating. Yeah, people tell me my art sucks.
Hmm.
Yeah, people don't buy my art. Yeah, I got close friends, people that don't support me. It's not about them. You have your vision, you have your goal of what you want to do and how you want to create. Keep doing that. Keep creating. Just keep creating. Do it again. That's what I tell. When somebody show me something, I say, do it again. Do it again.
Okay. I like that.
Don't stop. Keep creating because you'll never know. Like, uh, you'll never know what you come up with. Say you stop being an artist today, tomorrow, what happened? You'll mess around, be back in the 9 to 5 world, which is nothing wrong with that. But
Right.
there's nothing wrong with that. But let's just say you probably you could have created the next off white. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Right. What
You
could
could
have been.
be
Right.
that next. You could be that next artist, that next designer, the next coach, the next, Joe Budden. You could be the next LeBron. But if you stop, the moment you stop is the moment you fail. You go back to step one.
And that really just makes me think about that picture too. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's more so like a meme. I think kind of.
Oh, the one
It's like you really never know how close you are, and it was two people kind of digging underground. And one of them, they both really had dug the same amount, but it was for a long time, and so it was just like one of them had turned around and just kept walking the other way. He's basically saying, "Man, I'm never gonna find this. Like, it's not there." And little did he know, had he taken two more just chunks at it with like the pickaxe or whatever, the diamond would have fell out, and the other guy ended up finding it just because he took that extra step to go. So I really do like that. And I think that could resonate with a lot of people. Just you never know. I even use that mantra when it comes to my podcast. Just like, yeah, when it first came out and I listened to like my intro episode and different things like that, I critique myself heavily. Like I was just like, wow, could have did that better, could have did this better. But it was just like then kind of when I dropped it and then kind of playing it for other people and just that's why I'm so open to feedback. Like
Yeah,
I want people to be somebody asked me like, why do you well, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And I said, hey. It's no like for me to take it disrespectfully just means that I'm just being like insecure. I'm not comfortable with it. I need y'all feedback. Y'all are the ones who listen. I'm just sitting in front of the microphone talking. I'm going to do that regardless. But when people were actually coming to me and telling me, hey, like this sounds good or this is really good or did you even hear yourself? And this part, it was just like, wow, I looked at it from a whole different lens. But it's always good to just hear how people are thinking because like you said some people are not going to like it. Some people definitely gave me critiques and it was much needed critiques, like definitely stuff that I've worked on or stuff that I'm working on moving forward. But for other people, that support just means everything, especially when you're out here getting it on your own, when you've had people tell you that, oh no, this is not going to work, you're better off doing this, when you've had people basically say no but knowing you know that they can't do it any better or whatever the case may be. So I definitely do think that's important to once you kind of find your niche or you get going what you got going, just like you said, keep going, do it again, do it again,
yeah,
do it
man.
again, yeah, and again. So
And
as long as you're taking those, would you say?
I would say, and I think the freshness of you know just putting it out there in itself is beautiful. Like face value wise, once you put it out there and you start to get the critiques, you understand like every time you put something else out there, you're trying to sharpen it up ultimately. So it's it's beautiful. The process is beautiful. That's the
For
you got.
sure, there's beauty in the struggle.
You know what I mean? I love the process. Like I hate when the process is over. That's when you become complacent. You know what I'm saying? You kind of give up on the drive. The drive is over with. You have parked the car, but that's why I tell people always say, do it again. Like create again. Keep going. Like God tells you, like it is clear, and He never says that you're not going to struggle. You're going to struggle. That's part of it. That is it. That exactly what has to happen in order for you to be successful. You have to struggle. Anything, any and everything that's created has to go through struggle to be made. Whether it's it has to be pressured. Whether it's a chair, whether it's diamond, everything, it got to be beat together. It got to be put together. It got to be melted. It got to be molded somehow, bent into shape to make a perfect, picture or painting object.
For sure. And even just thinking like I feel like it would be boring if everything just went your way.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
oh yeah.
Like it would just be like, wow, there's no yeah, am I gonna fail? Like, am I gonna can somebody stop? Like, granted, like when somebody says like, or when you think like I'm unstoppable, I'm undefeated. Yeah, you want to stay that way, but that defeat, that stop, it humbles you, or it makes you approach things differently, or it makes you appreciate all that you had when you were up. If as long as you didn't take things for granted. So, I think that's definitely an interesting way to look at it. So, for Meso, what after I know you do a lot of self reflection, self realization for sure. I watch your story on a daily basis, and it's definitely something that can get to you if you pay attention, if you really read, and if you really hone in onto things. So, what will it take for Meso to reach the next level in any aspect of life, whether it be your art, whether it be your creative services, making the next sip and paint the best one? What is it going to take for you to reach that next level?
Ooh, man, consistency and stop sleeping on myself, man. I feel like a lot of times I get discouraged what my potential is, and a lot of people humble me, letting me know like you are in a great opportunity to create something beautiful, and you have started something beautiful. You just have to keep at it. It gets like you asked me about being an artwork. It's lonely. I kind of lag, but just me knowing me, all I have to do is be consistent. Be consistent and create. Everything else comes naturally. I'm very personable. I know a lot of people. Great attitude. I'm optimistic. Faith of a mustard seed. So yeah, man. Just believe in God. I already got the vision. It's done. Really, everything's really done. That the next level is done. I just have to tap in, be consistent. That's it, bro.
Absolutely. It's all, and I really just want to echo that two more times. It's already done.
It's
It's
already
already done. I keep telling people that, like, I want to do this, or I want to do that, or I want to be here, or I want to, it's already done.
it's
You
already
just got to go get it now. You just got to manifest. It's already done. The
yeah, man.
fact that you already thought about it, it was
Exactly.
done.
I
It
was
was
just
done.
about to do that. I'm like, God won't show it to you if He ain't want you to have it.
If you ain't gonna, you
Yeah.
feel me? He wouldn't have placed it in front of you if he knew that you couldn't, if it wasn't even attainable. He doesn't put anything in front of us that we can't attain. So it's already done. It's up to you to just take that effort.
God might even take you to a place where He wants you to understand, like this is where you want to be, and take you back
Right.
to level one. Be like, all right, now go get it.
Now start from here. And if you really want it, go
Go.
get it.
I
And
gave
if
you.
you, I showed you, I gave you a little taste. Right now, if you really want to reap that, go ahead, do it again. Hmm. Yeah. So okay. So before we wrap things up, what do you feel as though people should know, whether it be about you, whether it be about APCG, which y'all have coming for the future, the creative world, anything that you have cooking, maybe some of your favorite pieces or favorite things that you've done. What do you want the listeners out there to know?
Well, quarantine just messed it up. I had my second art show May 2nd, but look forward to that second art show once this is all over. We're definitely tap in, and you guys go ahead and follow me so you can get updates on my next art show. And also, man, pay attention, man. Coming up, I will be, I'm also looking. I'm looking to sign a couple artists to my creative group. I do not want to be the only artist in APCG creative group. So yeah, man, look for new artists. I will put out a post for that, and I want y'all to understand, Artist Plug Creative Group will be the number one creative entity in the world. Simple as that. Whether you like it or not,
It's already done.
it's already done. I'm
Okay.
worldwide, man. International studios, galleries, art shows, events. We taking it worldwide, man. Just stay
Okay.
tuned.
All right. And so to all my artists out there, to all my creatives listening and tuning in, uh, get with my dog, man. He's not gonna steer you wrong. And I'm sure if y'all put y'all heads together, I know a lot of people, whether it be photography, videography, or whatever the case may be, modeling, whatever, get with my dog, and his work speaks for itself. Just check out the page, and I'll make sure that I post all the information in the bio and different things like that once this episode is published. But come on, y'all, we in a sense we all we got. We make each other. We can put each other on the pedestal the same way we can knock each other down. So let's just continue to use our power for good for sure. And I just continue to pray that everybody is staying safe out there, staying productive, doing what they do. Meso, the same goes for you. I definitely do appreciate you taking the time to hop on with me. Like I said, we've been talking about this segment for a minute, so I'm glad we finally got to knock it out, and I'm excited for the finished product. So
Yeah.
to all the listeners out there, thank you again. Like I said, this is an event filled weekend. I kind of been slacking on y'all with the content. The quarantine got to me a little bit, but we back at it and better than ever before. So once again, big shout out to my dog Maso Moon and APCG Creative Group. Make sure you check them out for sure. And
Yeah.
to everybody out there listening, Down to Business Podcast, to Mark Turner, take care.
All right, y'all.